Almost there. Yes. This. Copy that. Paste that. Click OK. Start. Bow, bow, bow. Now we're live on Instagram. What's up, Instagram? Happy birthday to me. Come on now. I know it's right. Getting ready. Oh. I know. That's what was holding me up. It's working. Yay, there we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Wait, 1 second. I think my other light is on. Give me 1 second. Nope, we're okay. It's the cutout light. That's what it is. Never mind. Hi, how you doing? I was just doing my job. It's my birthday, so I'm just hanging out. Thank you so much, Hilly. That's very sweet of you. And by the way, hi, chat room. Welcome. It is indeed my birthday. It is also my mother's birthday. It is also Mark Hamill's birthday. It is also... one of the Glovers. It's not Crispin. It's not Corey. Is it? Yeah. Anyways, it's a Glover's birthday today. I'm blitzing on which one. It would have been Barbara Walters and Christopher Reeve's birthday. And it's Michael Douglas's. Yes. The the man who famously, I guess the biggest thing before he became older Ant-Man was famous for alleging he got throat cancer from oral sex on his ladies. Sure, sounds very Libra. The whole thing sounds very Bruce Glover. Yeah, it was Shemp Glover. That's who it was. And Templeton Zaret, bon anniversaire to Templeton the Rat in our chat room as well. Zaret from the chat, Danny Glover? No. Yes? Maybe. And yes, and it's Major Ojeda's birthday, but he's on vacation. So we'll wish him a happy birthday when he rejoins us next week or the week after, depending on when he's available for the morning show to come and join us and chit-chat about stuff. Very excited about the upcoming year. As many of you know, and I talked about this earlier, I set my year goals on the day, on my birthday, so that, it's my new year, right? Yes, it's Catherine Zeta-Jones's as well. Aren't they related? Aren't they? Never mind. None of my business. Hold on 1 second. All right, there's a cat. Hold on. I'm worried about my balloons. There they are. Hi. Today's show is not brought to you by Hal's birthday. Please like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, and support the show. This is I have a fan on, and this could go very poorly. Please support the fact that it is my birthday and that my girlfriend's son walked into the room in my bedroom this morning as I was waking up with a bunch of balloons wishing me a happy birthday. Now, okay, excellent. Now let's move on to the show, because I got dinner reservations tonight. My girl's taking me out to dinner for my birthday, so we'll get through this. Now, there was a clip I played right before I walked on. It was this one, It was from Tropic Thunder. Great movie. Now, the problem with that quote is that it could apply to any of the people we are dealing with today, including, if I may, chat room, this lovely person, Mike Johnson. Mike No Johnson, as he is being called by the right wing because they are perpetually caught in a hate machine and they can't even like their own. And apparently he's pissed because Zelensky went to an ammunition factory in Pennsylvania, and it's a swing state, and there were no Republicans invited, and therefore it was a campaign thing. So he is demanding that Zelensky fire Ukraine's ambassador to the United States, Oksana Makarova, who, let's see, because A, it was in Pennsylvania, but that's where the fucking factory is. B, no Republicans were invited, largely because a lot of them are traitors and might give away the game. You know, maybe they're just concerned for his safety, perhaps. Who's he going to invite? Chip fucking Roy? Jim Jordan? You see what I'm saying? So, anyways, he demands that Oksana Makarova be fired. She will not be. This is a bunch of silliness. He can kiss my ass. And overall, let's see. I think yes, you are. Now, if I may, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump straight into our. Which one did these? Oh yes. Well, let's do double good news, can we? Right out of the gate, ladies and gentlemen. It's it's beanie time. It's fucking beanie time. It's Mr. Beanie time. We all cover up the top of our heads. Never forget to wear your beanie inside, even when you broadcast from, where the fuck is he? Texas? Is he just wear the beanie because he doesn't want to be bald like Joe Rogan and shave his head? Or if he's already shaved his head and he just doesn't want to, or is he just covering the scabs? I'm pretty sure he wears the beanie because he's got a lot of scabs up there because he's not very good at shaving his head, and so it's got a crust on it all the time, and there's kind of like a, you know, he doesn't want to have to, he's always getting pimples on it, so he has to cover it with the hat. That's what I heard. But apparently Infowars is going to be shut down and auctioned off. Dibs on the big dumb desk. I'm just saying. Where's the auction happening? I want the big dumb desk, god damn it. So I can pry Infowars off the front of it and put Infotainment Wars. Yeah? Okay, here we go. So this is Boo-hoo Fest. We won't do the whole thing because I don't have time for this shit.
Alex Jones's Infowars will be auctioned off to pay Sandy Hook families.
Yeah! Yay! Hooray! I don't think that's not the reaction you were looking for. Let's see. How about, why was that so quiet? Did that actually play? Hold on. Huh. Wait 1 second. All right, let's see. This audio going through here. There's the thing. And then that's going in there. Oh, I see. It didn't go into the 3. I don't know why. Oh, because you need to click this part. There you go. Now, this is better. Ooh, that was very loud. Sorry. But now you get it. Now it works.
A sale of the Infowars website and other property is set for November and could determine...
All right. Add that to my calendar, S-lady on computer.
...the conspiracy theorist's fate as a broadcaster. Let me just...
Why? Oh, maybe it's the broadcasting part, because you can stream through your fucking phone and it doesn't matter.
Press this to the machine. You can't stop Alex Jones. You will never...
Actually, you can. Yeah, you can. Yeah, by the way, even this filter is making my fucking head hot. Okay.
Never stop Alex Jones. Nothing you do will ever shut down Alex Jones.
Oh, well, they're not trying to kill him, dumb fuck. They're just selling off the stake in his gear and all that, and his his studio stuff because he tormented children. Yeah. I'll open up window for a guest, please. Oh, we have. Oh, is there? I see. Hold on. Is there a guest? Oh, do I have the potential for guestages because it's my birthday? Is that what's happening? Oh my gosh. Hold on. This is the thing. Wait 1 second. Control. There you go. And enable. And is the whoop. And okay. It is now open. I don't know what it is, but I'm very excited about the prospect. I think. All right. Guest window is open. We should see. Oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene's going to be on the show today. So exciting. Because there he is. Look at it, Boston Brian coming in here. God damn it. Hold on. Now making me work on my goddamn birthday, and I don't mind because I love this man, and I'm going to bring him in here and pop in here and put this in here and paste and hit OK, and then I'm going to change the name because this is definitely not Philip Ittner. There you are. Can you hear me? Okay, now I can't hear you. Hold on. I got to fix that. I'll fix that on my end. 1 second. Ta-da. Check, check.
Check, check. Mike, check.
Hey.
Happy birthday.
There he is. Hi. Look at you.
How are you,
okay.
sir? I promise I won't take up much of your time. I know you're busy. You got dinner tonight. I just wanted to come on and wish you and your mom a happy birthday. And, from the sparklers, the people that can't come on and wish you a happy birthday that are just dying to do so. So I've even kind of practicing. So I hope your mom does your mom watch the show? If she doesn't, she can play this back. So, Mom, just for you, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. So, just from me. I love you guys. Thank you. Yeah. Somehow you managed to create just a wonderful thing in your son here, which is just a perfect amalgamation of everything that is good in this world. So I appreciate you.
That's so true. And yet,
I threw on my beanie for Tim.
I know, I appreciate that. But that's that's kind of cruel, don't you think? I mean, it's because you got there it is, the Ukraine thing on top.
Oh yeah, just for him. I want him to know that. Not everybody looks as bad as a beanie as he does, and
that's right.
Got the Ukraine on it just so it pisses him off just a little bit more. So I threw it on just for you. I saw you were watching this.
It's a very difficult thing. Hold on 1 second. So I gotta say, I think you and I are both relishing the fact that that Alex Jones is finally, after all of his torment of the families at Sandy Hook and all that shit, is finally getting some comeuppance. Because can I just say for the record, fuck that dude. He's an awful, awful person, and Alex Jones is bad. No, what I'm saying.
So listen, you just call me whatever day you're going to pick up his desk, right? You just call me because you're gonna need a few people to get that one in the truck. I'll tell you that.
Absolutely. We're gonna have to drive down to fucking I don't know where we go. We're gonna drive down.
I don't know how Tim does it, dude.
I don't either. I think he has the same pores as a dolphin. Either that or he starts and ends every show by panting, because that's how he gets.
And I'm sorry to drop in on you, but I know.
Don't apologize. I'm glad to see you, my friend. It's a totally good thing, and I'm very happy about it. And it's nice to see you. And I wish I could see you in person. I wish we could all go out to dinner. But it's one of those things about having what's effectively a mega worldwide friendships as well. Is that I have, I consider you a good friend, my friend, and you and I have only been in the same room maybe 3 or 4 times, and that's a good sign,
definitely not
right?
Enough.
Yeah.
And just so you know, the feeling is very mutual. I am very appreciative of the opportunity to not only be in the show, but I know probably the first time I came on the show, like halfway through, you were probably still looking like, who the fuck is this? Like, why is this? Like,
not me,
why is
my
he
friend.
on the show again?
Oh, no. Not any stretch, by any stretch. Hold on. I'm now you've got me messing with your chroma key so that I can improve on it. That's just how my brain works. There we go.
I know. I'm sorry. This happens every time. Your brain only works in one way, and everything has to be perfect.
So yes, I'm going to have some surf and turf tonight. I think Summer's taking me for surf and turf. I don't know exactly where we're going, but I don't want to know, quite frankly. One of my things about birthday dinners is I always want to be blindfolded. It's not quite a fetish.
Isn't that just supposed to stay at home, though?
No, it isn't. I mean, look, no Diddy, but it's
tough to eat surf and turf with handcuffs on, Hal.
You get used to it. Also,
isn't that you're getting fed?
Yeah. Also, they're the fur cuffs. Actually, hold on. That's
less
not even
chafing.
true at all.
Less chafing for sure.
Yeah, less chafing. I'm a big fan of Les Chafing. He's amazing. Oh yeah, here you go. Hold on. I gotta show you something. This is how. Wait. This is how.
By the way.
This is how nerdy we are in this family. That I use the binders from Star Trek.
No, you know what? I saw your mind, the wheels turning up here when Phil showed you the wristlets he got you from Ukraine, and I'm like, I can see the wheels turn. Like, how can I tie those together?
These are the same ones they used on Chewbacca. I'm just saying.
Wait, isn't that your safe word?
Yeah. But it's really hard to do when you have a ball gag in. I've noticed it's just a complicated thing. But yeah, these are.
Oh man, I didn't
TMI.
real things. I really did.
TMI. I will say the great thing about these things is you can get yourself out. That if you're ever, you're like most of these things.
Fun.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I mean, again, if you're, it doesn't really do you a good if you have a safe word and your partner is in a vinyl hood because you can't really hear anything, you know.
No, correct.
And you're yelling orange.
Around.
Yeah, you're yelling orange. They think you're saying porridge. They run to the kitchen. You're like, no.
I hope they now go and take a look at the oranges.
Right? And
well, on one serious note, before I take off, because I'll let you get back to your show, and it goes along with what you're watching with Tim Pool and the other idiots that were caught up in that shit storm. Yeah. I have noticed, especially in Donald Trump's last appearance, his most recent speech, the one that he just did today.
Yeah.
He used the most blatant and prolonged segment of direct Russian propaganda that he's ever used since he entered politics. And I think he's really been ramping this whole, like, Ukraine's a lost cause. Today he said that all the cities in Ukraine were burnt to the ground besides Kyiv. He said that the Ukrainians lost their heritage. He said they've lost the will to fight. He said that millions are dead. On the Ukrainian side, I don't know if he was trying to just sum up the whole war in general, but there's a lot more Russians dead than there are Ukrainians. I can tell you that much.
Right.
With this whole Tim Pool thing going on with, you can see the tentacles. You can see the tentacles of Russia really trying to get a stranglehold on this election as we get closer.
No, hold on. Now, Boston Brian, are you trying to tell me that if somebody came to you and I and said, that we're going to get together a bunch of liberal and progressive talkers together, uniform in their thought and in their political experience, but we're not going to pay you guys to make the kind of videos you normally make. We're going to pay you no-show videos with no product, no call to action, that has no basement on viewership, so they can have 2 viewers, 5 or 1 billion, it doesn't matter. We're still going to pay $100,000 a video that you wouldn't go, that sounds completely on the up and up. That sounds completely reasonable to me.
I cover this on my podcast, on my show, and the amount of times I said red flag, if I just got $1 for every time I said red flag, and because I was reading the indictment and what they were going through and how, Dave Rubin, or Dave Rubles, as you like to call him, literally Googled, like he was so curious about this that he didn't know who the guy was, couldn't get any information on it. He literally went as far as to I'm going to Google this and I'm going to try to find something. He still couldn't find anything. That's when he then was sent over that ridiculously generic
one sheet, the AI one sheet.
Right. You know what's big in Russia is people on Instagram posing on private jets that literally don't even leave the tarmac ever. You can just pay, go on a private jet, take a couple pictures, post it on your Instagram, and you're all set. So it wouldn't be hard for whatever actor that was in that, or whatever AI generated photograph that was, to just come up with a generic, we're building together a group of, what's the word they use there? Not hetero something. I forget the word they use.
Yeah.
Dave Rubles loves using it. in his
whatever
in his
heterogeneous.
defense.
It was the. It's basically like they all think the same. All of them have the same belief about specifically Ukraine, which is why, I think that became crucial. Every single one of these motherfuckers, they may vary on whether they thought Mike Johnson or McCarthy should have been swapped out. They're all, even I think Dave Rubels is on the fence about Trump sometimes, right? He's not all in the way Tim Pool is. Tim Pool allegedly calls himself an independent, which is just fucking bullshit.
Well, it's tough as a gay man with adopted kids to go full in on the whole Trump thing, let me tell you.
Right, sure.
Not that I know from experience, but just from the outside looking in, I could probably tell you that the death threats he was getting as he was going through his whole adoption process from the same people he now fucking defends, I can tell he wasn't really happy with that whole situation.
Right. But it's all those guys, the one thing they do share is their desire for Ukraine to lose this war. And that was the thing where Lauren Chen and her husband could corral them together and go, hey, guys, we just want to throw you $100,000 fucking a video with no basement as far as viewership. It doesn't have to clear 10,000 or 20,000 or 100,000 or 1 million views to get that $100,000. You don't have to promote it at all.
There's no downside to it.
No
whatsoever.
prep, no work. It's slapdash as fuck. You can just do whatever you want with it.
So
then
there's only two answers for it. You either knew exactly what the fuck was going on, or you are the most incompetent son of a bitch that has ever fucking been in this arena, ever. I mean, you just cannot pass up that many red flags and be like, "This is definitely on the board."
It's full of plausible. The middle road would be you create enough plausible deniability for yourself that you know you'll have an out. And when it comes to Dave Rubin, say, Googling the dude who was feeding all this alleged money, this fake dude who was feeding money to Tenant Media that was going to
whatever the fuck his name
right,
was,
yeah, who doesn't exist anyways. By Googling him, getting this one sheet and going, okay, I did my bullshit due diligence that will cover my ass. Or in the case of Tim Pool with this like Russia sucks, Putin can lick my balls
that was
kind of
after,
statement.
just so you know, he couldn't find anything on the Google. He found absolutely no information.
Right.
So then he went back to Lauren Chen and was like, "Listen, I need something. I need a meeting. I need to talk to him.
My lawyer says I need you to cover my ass because he's throwing fucking red flags on the ground everywhere we go."
So that's when he was sent that fucking AI generated bullshit, generic 1-page. Like, wouldn't you want to see more information? Even if even if you did think that was legit, I would be like, is that it? Like, that's what you're gonna send me? You're gonna send me the flyer to his fucking photo sheet? You know what I mean?
No,
like his
it
photo
ain't
album?
enough. Especially if you go, hey, who else is involved in this? And you go, what do we all have in common? We're all on the same political side, but the one thing we agree on is Ukraine, and this dude fucking mystery guy who's feeding money to Lauren Chen, who
supposedly
got basically
a French benefactor is what they were told.
Bounced out of fucking Canada because of her pro-Russian ties as well. Oh, God. So again,
well, it makes Tim Pool banging on the table saying that Ukraine is our biggest enemy or the biggest problem. It makes a lot more sense now. I can tell you that.
Well, and also again, him being able to him saying that up till the point they get caught, and now he's blathering on about fuck Russia in like 3 tweets and then back to normal is basically because you have a disavow clause. None of these people are true believers. They're paid.
I think that's instruction number 3 on the Kremlin propaganda playbook they send to these people. What you're going to do is you're going to put out 3 or 4 tweets that say fuck Russia, fuck Putin, Russia sucks, something like that, and then you're going to slowly back into the same bullshit that we were spewing before. That way you have some plausible deniability, and then you can go back and point to these tweets later on and say, look, I said fuck Russia at this time here, so clearly I'm not all in for Russia, Yeah,
they try to almost backdate a bunch of get out of jail free cards. And Alex Jones did this.
It's real tradecraft that has been developed by the Kremlin and in other countries around the world. I mean, Mossad, all these agencies around the world that have developed these ways to control the minds of large swaths of people and to get into the psyche and the society of a country, and to really split it up and try to divide the people. You know what I mean? So it's like they know how to make you so you can cover your ass, even though it's pretty blatant that you are doing something that is pro-Russia. You know what I mean? So it's like they know how to play the game. They're not stupid. They've been doing this for a long time.
And again, if you have in country, in Russia, whenever they have people who are supposed to be these propaganda talking people, like the mill bloggers that are in the Ukrainian territories that Russia has taken, those people have to be on the team. And if they vary at all, they end up chucked out a fucking window because they're supposed to be part of not the Ruska Mir, and they're supposed to be, all believers in this. But the purchased, the sort of sock puppets like Benny Johnson, like Tim Pool, like Dave Rubles, that crowd, they don't have to, if they're caught, they can disavow. They can pull a Peter to Jesus, right? They can just go, they can deny 3 times. They don't get in any trouble at all.
That's baked into the plan, though.
That's right.
Baked into the whole plan. That's the whole reason they picked these idiots. Do you know what I mean? And did this whole process of faking, the guy and giving him bullshit here and lying to them here. Like, that is baked into the whole plan. Like, we're going to lie to you throughout this whole fucking thing. You're going to have, we're going to send you some bullshit. And at the end, you're going to have a way to say, I had absolutely no idea. I'm the victim here. And I mean, rightfully so, but that does not mean that they're not stupid. That does not mean that they're not just
yes, they can be they can be conniving, cruel, grotesque, pro-rapist monsters and be dumb also. I mean, that's thank God, because that's the definition of MAGA. Now, I real quick, somebody Scott, thank you for the super chat. He says, as soon as you get a chance, watch Andrew Sorkin's interview on MSNBC with Beat with Ari. Andrew makes a great case of why the Harris economic plan will be far better than Trump's. Yes, I agree on all fronts. I've been looking into this anyways. And even fucking Bloomberg, Market Watch, all the normals except for Maria Bartiromo are saying it's going to be fucking amazing. And even she knows she should.
Do you know what the most constant thing on the fucking screen of Fox News has been for the last 3.5 years?
What?
That little fucking green thing in the corner.
Yes. Right.
That little fucking green arrow that points up in the corner of the Fox News fucking ticker on the bottom. That's the most constant thing that has been on the screen of Fox News in the last fucking 3 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing has been more constant. Nothing has been more fucking. It's going to be there every day. And nothing. I mean, I think one of them hit a record high for 41. For the 41th record that they've had. The other one has had like 36 records. So that means 41 times Maria Bartiromo has had to open her show with like
it's so
cringy
good
face. You know what I mean?
So good. God,
and then there was a good one the other day that I saw where I forget, Fox Business. It was a Fox Business show that was actually it was just the show just before Kudlow.
Okay.
Because they cut to Kudlow. They were talking about how well the stock market was doing on the show that ended.
Right.
Cut to Kudlow. Kudlow is talking about how, the disaster that Biden and Harris is leaving, whatever administration may come, the financial disaster. So it's like, the last show literally just ended talking about how well the stock market has been doing, the record highs. It's unbelievable the shit that they can spew on there, and they don't feel any shame. Like there's no shame. There's fucking
we talk about during the and by the way, I'm 100% cool with this being the show right now. I hope everybody at home is good with that because this is great. Dude. I love this and thank you, and it's a great birthday gift just to have you on. Absolutely. The how we talk about at the debates and stuff like that there should be a live fact check going on. The irony is there's always one on Fox Business and Fox News, and it doesn't fucking matter anyways. It's that green arrow. They're always being fact checked by the fucking the Dow continuing to go up, right? And yet they'll just
see wah, the world's on fire as the little ticker in the side keeps going up and up and up. You know what I mean? They're like, fucking the world's ending, shit's ending. Yeah. What's going on with this? And even though we've created, 19 million jobs, and Donald Trump loves to harp on the 818,000 that were revised by the administration themselves, not by anybody else. It's not like a leaker came out and was like, hey, they're trying to steal and add somehow they're going to add less than 1 million jobs onto 19 million, and they think that's going to make a difference.
Jesus. Well, and on top of that, and I saw another super chat go by. I just wanted to say thank you. It went by so fast I couldn't see who it is, but thank you. I'll check in on those as best I can at the end of the show. But in watching them kind of react to this whole especially Trump with this we're a nation in decline shit, and I'm like, did any of the maggots have a disconnect in their head when they're watching Monday night or Sunday night football, where the stands are literally fucking full. Not a single ticket in that place goes for less than $50. Most of them go for over $200. They're fucking jam-packed with people.
The Bruins preseason tickets were over $100.
Uh-oh, hold on. I'm being...
Hey, Summer.
Summer's walking in. Look at that.
There you go.
Happy birthday to me.
To you.
You don't hear me
Happy
sing, right?
birthday
to me.
you.
It's going to catch fire.
I know.
Happy birthday,
Happy
dear
birthday.
Hal and his mom.
I made a wish. I
Happy
did.
birthday to you.
Aw.
Yeah.
Aw, you're
Thanks,
so awesome,
babe.
Summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How wonderful are you?
Boston Brian's saying hi, and he's saying you're awesome, and
Hi.
yeah. There she is. Yay. Thanks, babe.
Do you want a piece of this now?
And a little bit. I will have it right before we go to dinner.
Is she
so that I
talking
can
about
fill
the
up.
cake, Hal?
Yes,
Ask her if she's talking about the cake.
talking about the cake. Not, yeah, because that's always a yes. It's always sorry. Hold on, wait. I think I have a. Nope, that won't work. I'll have to just go to this one. There. We'll be back after these. These. After these messages, we'll be right back. All right, hold on. Now I have to find my way back to that because I don't normally. There we go. So, yeah, that's my nothing bunt cake. That there's a place called Nothing Bunt Cakes that we get cakes from.
Should be a bunting nun cake.
Fronting nuns. I'm not going. No, I don't even have the nut warning on this. You're lucky. Now you've just reminded me I have to add the nut warning to the guest news thing in case we run into Trump. There's that redacted fucker. Yeah. It's so funny because it's almost like I think the gift today is that I'm not having to listen to Tim Pool's voice right now. So where were we?
I'll let you go, buddy. I'll let you go. I'll let you
all.
get into a little bit of Tim Pool, and then you can go have some have a lovely dinner with Summer. I just wanted to pop in and say happy birthday to you, and also to your mom, and thank you for everything you do and the time you spend, keeping everybody informed and entertained, and making this so that it's it's edible to people, so that they can digest this bullshit and the boringness that should be United States politics, even though it's turned into this fucking circle jerk of a fucking freak show. But, the things that you do, and the sparklers were in fucking full force at the Geeks for Harris, the Geeks and Nerds for Harris thing.
I love that.
I mean, the chat just lit up as soon as you went off, so that was awesome to see. You did an amazing job, so just thank you for everything you do. It's becoming more and more important that people like you and people like the Sparklers continue to stay involved. Make sure you're registered to vote. Make sure you have a plan to vote. Make sure you know where your voting stations are and what dates your mail-in votes have to be in by. Go over your ballots 100 times. Do it slowly and methodically, and fill out every line. Make sure you're spelling everything correctly. All the numbers are correct.
They will use anything they can to toss it out.
Your I's are dotted.
Yeah.
Anything. Don't give them any excuse to throw that to the side and prolong what would be your fucking right to cast a vote in this country. And if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to my channel. It would be fantastic. I do a show.
Absolutely.
It's at 11 a.m. on Sundays now. I'm trying to find a more permanent time because I was bouncing around and the NFL started and I was at the same time. Yada, yada, yada. But Sundays, Blunt Politics, that's me, Boston Brian. I appreciate it. Hal, I love you, buddy. Sparklers, you guys have a great night. Thank you so much.
I will
dude.
gladly.
I appreciate it. Sorry, I don't mean to take up this much amount of time every time. I really say I'm coming on to say happy birthday, and that's it, and it never fucking happens.
But that's because you and I have too much to talk about, and we don't get to talk nearly enough. So fear not.
Right.
Love you, brother, and I'll gladly come on your show sometime and bring a crowd of sparklers over there as best I can, too.
Please do, because right now you're kind of hogging the people on the internet. Please.
That's true. It is even
if
outside.
You could
it's
toss
packed.
just a couple my way. That would be fantastic.
I'm sorry. You know what it is? Is it gets so packed in the internet that nobody can move. So even if you open up one of the doors,
did you hear my new opening to my show?
No.
Welcome to the second best live stream on the history of the internet.
Well, I look. I didn't stumble upon the title of greatest live stream in the history of the internet. I seized it with both hands, and I
just own Boston Brian as well as Hal Fox can Hal Fox. I just don't Boston Brian that well, I guess.
It's very difficult for a lot of, you can't. Boston Brian cannot Hal Sparks as well as Hal Sparks can when I'm Hal
Thank
Sparks.
you, brother. I appreciate it. Get to Tim
yes.
Fool, that stupid son of a bitch, and make sure that, everybody notices the Russian propaganda rise, and make sure you're calling this shit out, please. It's very, very important that we, continue to keep the Ukrainians on the minds of Americans and to make sure that they know exactly how important it is to keep funding them, to keep supplying them, whatever it needs, whatever it takes right now. Now's the time. Thank you, buddy.
That's
appreciate
right.
it.
Thank you, brother. Okay, look, and he kicked himself out because he knew I never would, because I would do I'll do a Midwestern goodbye and keep him here all day. I didn't even get to say hello to Boston Brian. I was gonna say something, and then he left. Boston Brian, I just want to come up there and have a little Thai iced tea up there, or no? What is it, Boston? What's a Boston? If a Long Island iced tea is a tea, then what a Boston tea is like? You spill it? How does that work? I don't know. Oh, my girl, bring it. Look at this. Oh, she brought me a piece of cake. Yeah, that's true. I believe me, it won't be a problem. I'm very hungry, but I will. I need some. Hold on. I have to, as part of my OnlyFans, play some slow brew. You brought it. Don't make me. Give me that. What are you doing, face? Did you bring enough for everybody? No. Rolling lint and eating cake. That's what I do. Yeah, she did bring me a plastic fork. That's good. Because she doesn't want to. I mean, it is my birthday, but she doesn't want to do dishes. That's sweet. I've managed to get 3 bites out of it, and I think I'm about to enter a diabetic coma. I don't know. So, that's okay with you guys? He's just going to sit there, eat one of my relatives live on camera, and you guys are going to be okay with that. That's what you're going to do. That's how you think it should go. Why aren't you ashamed of yourselves? Good Lord. You sicken me. You sicken my entire family. How can you support this? I don't know. Sorry. Never eat cake in front of salty cupcake. He gets very... I mean, it's uncomfortable. I can understand. It's like eating ostrich in front of chickens. They get the point. You know what I mean? All right, back to the show. Let's do show. And then, because I was celebrating as much as when our dear friend Boston Brian showed up, I was celebrating the fact that this dickhead over here is miserable because this dickhead over here is having to sell his fucking $1 billion dick pill business to pay the families that he tormented after the deaths of their children. So fuck both of them.
Nothing. Now, I do find this interesting because I have to wonder who is going to dare help Alex Jones pay his debts.
What do you mean, by buying the shit? I don't think he's getting retail for this shit.
It's a bold undertaking. I'm like, imagine you're a media company and someone says, hey, Alex Jones, his company, they're going to sell off all this property to try and pay off his Sandy Hook debt. Mm-hmm. How would you like to give him a hand? wait, hold on a minute. Do you want to be a media company in any respect that is the one who provided the cash to Alex Jones to help pay down his debt?
Well, the debt is to families who lost their children, so it's not like you're giving him that money. That money is going to them. So yeah, stupid. God damn it. He always does it, ladies and gentlemen. He always lives up to the soundbite.
To be a moron. To be moronical. An imbecile. Like the dumbest motherfucker that ever lived.
Yeah, stupid. Paying his debts means paying the Sandy Hook families. That's right. You could buy a bunch of gear, and the money goes to the Sandy Hook families. Yeah, I'm fine with that, you dumb motherfucker. He didn't declare bankruptcy because he fell behind on a loan. He tormented the parents of dead children, you tit.
You bought his gear from him? You are using the Infowars equipment? I don't know, man.
Yes, and the money you paid for it went to the families that lost their children. Fuck you, dummy. Here's the thing. Do you think he's not putting this together in his empty little dome? Seriously. Do you think Alex Jones takes that money and his lawyers do, or the courts do, they remove that money from his fucking bank accounts and hand it over to these families, and Alex Jones gets to take credit for it? What do you think, he's gonna write off charity on his fucking taxes, you dickhead?
Perhaps there are liberals who are like, ha 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 ha, I got Alex Jones' camera. I can't imagine them wanting to use it. Going to people and be like, yeah, thanks to the hard work.
What? Why? You think the camera's what makes him look like that?
Of Infowars and everything they built, we were able to get these discount cameras, and I was happy to provide cash to Alex Jones so that he could pay down his court debts.
His court debts. What would those court debts be? Oh, right, the money that was awarded to the Sandy Hook families. You fucking dummy. What? This isn't to pay off his lawyers. You're confusing him with Donald Trump.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to want to take that on.
God damn, this guy is stupid. Jesus Christ. Like, this is, I gotta say, and he seems convinced of this. Like, it would be one thing if he was, like Jesse Waters does a bunch of turd polishing for Trump on the regular. There are other people around Alex Jones who try to, make something of this. He looks like he actually thinks this. I don't know. I guess if I was caught in the tenant media thing, I would be appearing on camera saying stuff that is as dumb as possible so that I could plead idiocy in court.
The left is so censorious and so cancellous. I don't know what the right word is for it, but they're very...
What the fuck does gear have to do with anything? Cancellous? You think we cancel wires and gear too? You think that we're like superstitious about computer monitors seized from a business and sold? You think no liberal would go onto one of those government auction sites and buy a car that was driven by a drug dealer or some shit like that? Honestly.
Very much into canceling people. Do you really want to be the person that's using Infowars equipment?
Yes, it would be fucking hilarious. Yeah. And knowing that the money for it, instead of just going to, like, I don't know, Best Buy or something, went to the Sandy Hook families? Yeah. What? Yes. They're liquidating his shit, stupid. Why is this weird? Why is he so dumb? How does this not make sense to him? The shit? Who the fuck would even know? Says Dana Energy. I would tell people. If I bought one of those cameras, I was like, this is one of the Alex Jones things. When they fucking liquidated all of Infowars, I bought a bunch of the shit, and then I used it for my show, and the money for it went to the Sandy Hook families. Awesome. Fuck you. By the way, selling all of that shit is not going to get him over the $1 billion hump, dum-dum. It's not like, oh, I see. So, after he went bankrupt and had to pay all this money, he went and sold everything, and so now you're filling his pockets again so he could buy new gear or some shit like that. No, dummy, this is part and parcel to everything.
Because you gave him the money for his debts?
No, you didn't give him his money for the debts. They liquidated his shit, and the money goes to the families. This is, I don't know. He keeps saying it like it's supposed to land, and I keep responding to it like he'll suddenly become aware.
I'm just saying.
You're just saying stupid shit. Like, honestly, even Tim Pool's viewers must be going, fuck, dude. Obviously, it goes to the Sandy Hook families. That's how all this shit works. It's true of, when they, in a civil case, when they liquidate somebody's, holdings or any of that kind of shit, that's where it goes to them. Goes to the plaintiff.
But let's read this. Houston bankruptcy.
By the way, what's the option? You blow it up and the Sandy Hook family get nothing from it? Or you just dump the gear off at their house and they can start a show if they want it? What?
The judge ruled on Tuesday that assets from the conspiracy theorist Alex Jones' Infowars empire can be auctioned off to help pay families of the Sandy Hook mass shooting victims.
Wait! Stupid! There it is! Hey, shithead! Did you see? To help pay families of the Sandy Hook mass shooting victims. That's where the money goes, you dumb motherfucker. Oh my God. This is,
You are physically repulsive, intellectually retarded, vulgar, insensitive, selfish, stupid. You have no taste, a lousy sense of humor, and you smell.
Victims, the defamation award he owes. The auction set for mid-November will...
He owes them. Look, fuck, man. You don't get to shave off the word to make your stupid pay his court debts bullshit fit. He owes them.
Will include Infowars website, social media accounts, broadcasting equipment. You can't auction off social media accounts.
Yes, you can. You can sell them to like-minded people. Like if fucking the Blaze wants to buy the Alex Jones, and it's got all the followers, they're already there, and then it switches the name of it over to, I don't know, Blaze Red or something like that, and it's all their conspiracy shit, and they know those people will like that. That's how you do it. People, it's like buying a mailing list.
That's not allowed.
Yes, it is. It's a business one. It's not a personal one. He can keep his personal one, but the business one's the Infowars one, and if he sells shit via his personal one, it becomes a business one. Fuck you.
Elon Musk can just go, no. Elon owns the X account. Sorry, nothing you can do about it.
Sorry, so Elon owns all of our X accounts and we can't do anything about it? That's better? What? All right. Fuck me. So, real quick, Tim Drool. So, Elon Musk owns the Timcast account, and if he wants to sell it, he can. That's how it works. Fucking hell. I didn't think it could get dumber.
Broadcasting equipment, product trademarks, and inventory owned by Free Speech Systems, Infowars.
Mostly like dick pills that have traces of lead and cadmium in them.
Parent company. Mr. Jones's fate as a broadcaster most likely depends on who buys his business. Though the Infowars name and assets are potentially
the parts of the business
of interest to a range of entities on the far right under the terms of the sales anyone can bid. And therein lies the big point. Do you think a liberal is going to go buy Infowars?
I mean, I already own infotainmentwars.com. And there's enough moron drift apparently in Alex Jones's followers that if I just set up the fucking website, own infowars.com, and do a redirect, that every time he posts something, or some video floats around for the rest of time, that it would bounce people to that if they search it out. Fuck yes, you dumbass. Why wouldn't I? I don't give a fuck. That's like saying, would a liberal really buy Trump Vance 2024 and own that website? Yeah, to redirect it to a website that's a list of Trump's crimes against women and J.D. Vance's crimes against sofas. You dumb motherfucker. Oh, this is good.
AB. And then they'll redirect it to KamalaHarris.com or something. That
Right.
they'd probably enjoy. But
Yes. Just to make those people mad? Sure.
I can't imagine that they'd want to buy the equipment and trademarks and utilize them in any legitimate way.
Why? What? First of all, your lack of imagination is not our fucking problem, Tim. Just because you have no imagination and basically between your ears there's like a fish bowl with no water in it. That's not on us. You do realize that, right? We're not responsible for your inability to comprehend reality or normalcy. What? And again, what the fuck? Who cares about the gear, you dumb motherfucker? Like I said, dibs on the desk.
You're more likely to see someone on the right take this up.
Yes. More than likely, the Daily Wire or the Blaze will buy the gear at 10 cents on the dollar because it's relatively new. Even to just have backups. Shit, they can write off the depreciation on the gear, stupid.
Because the money helps Alex pay down his debt, which he probably never...
Again, it's not paying his fucking water bill, dum-dum. Nah, I'm kidding. He doesn't shower. His liquor bill. It's not paying his tab at the liquor store. It's paying the Sandy Hook families, and I'm fine with that. You know this camera I got? Yeah, the money I paid for is like, okay, imagine... All right, fuck, man. I don't even know why I'm having to explain. All right, let's say you go to a silent auction, probably heard of this, at a charity event. Yes? Now, I will say to everybody who's going to a charity event where they are auctioning things off, and you're looking at somebody who raised $250,000 for Prop 2 to create standards for how farm animals are treated in the state of California. When they were expecting to raise $50,000, I raised $250,000 by shaming rich people, I will have you know. But and again. I also won on Celebrity Jeopardy and won $50,000 for Doctors Without Borders. That being said, not here just to toot my own horn. I'm just saying that this is the greatest live stream that has ever occurred. And Hal Sparks is better than anybody could possibly Hal Sparks. Now, Sparks faux wars. I am not faux war, though. So, anyways, this is true. Let's say you do a silent auction. And the gear you buy, like somebody donates a camera or something like that, and you use it for your vlog, right? And you go, hey, where'd you get that nifty camera? And you go, well, I donated through a silent auction to GLAAD or to Human Rights Campaign or Wild Horse Ranch Rescue. And they got the money and I got the camera. What about the person who donated it? Well, they don't get the money or the camera. I guess they could write it off, but they're not part of that transaction. They just did it to be nice. Now, imagine if they were forced to donate it because they were fucking assholes like Alex Jones. And their stuff was effectively donated to the charity of Pay the Sandy Hook Families. And you could go to a silent auction at a charity for the Sandy Hook families and go, I want this little piece, and I want this little piece. And then you won because you bid the most, and you get to walk away with that shit. Does that clarify this at all? Dummy motherfucker.
Ever could. And it keeps so it's going to be some right-wing interest. I'm seeing people say Elon Musk should buy Infowars.
Yeah, sure. Great. Yeah, he should buy it and hire Alex Jones, and then he can be sued by the Sandy Hook families for violating the terms of that agreement.
He probably could. They're going to say that Mr. Jones spent years spreading lies that the 2012 shooting at Sandy Hook We get it. Was a hoax, and the families were actors. The family suffered online abuse, personal confrontations, and death threats from people who believed the conspiracy theory.
Yeah, and his followers urinated on the graves of their children. Fuck him. Fuck you. Fuck anybody who defends him.
Relatives of 10 victims, and you know, like, we all know Alex was wrong to do this.
Do we? We do.
I can't. I remember where I was when that story broke. I was in a burger joint in Brooklyn, watching the news, dumbfounded and saddened to see that stuff. I think
the Sandy Hook news story, or the fact that Alex Jones was sued.
Not a fan of this, but you know, he apologized for it.
Yeah, in court. He apologized after he'd fought the lawsuits for a long time, put them off as much as he could, and then in actual court during, he tried to undo all of it by saying, "Look, I apologize right here in front of everybody, God and everybody, and the microphone of it. I apologize. I've said it a bunch of times this morning, since this afternoon, when my lawyer told me we're basically going to lose. Fuck you."
I do think the reality is they're trying to destroy his business.
So? He was trying to destroy their lives, their families. Like, he was inflicting soul damage on these people. Maybe, just maybe, his business should go away. And also, it's a business. He can fucking sell insurance. Tough shit, motherfucker.
If they wanted to make money.
Oh, thank you, Eunice Palin, for what language is that in? Is that a happy birthday? Because it seemed like it was.
They just garnish his revenue. They take his money. Instead, they're like, nah, auction it off, shut it down.
That's because he owes more than any of it's worth. And keeping him on the air where he can... okay, wait. Why the fuck would you want that asshole to be still on the air for the next group of people that lose their child? And this asshole just goes, "Well, Sandy, I apologize for that, and we got away with it, so we're paying a little bit of that or whatever. But this guy, clearly, his daughter is bullshit. She never existed." We're seeing videos right now on Twitter, that say that this, she was never alive. She was never alive. These are Christ actors. This is just so they can take your guns. Fucking 20 goddamn years of they're faking these mass shootings. It's a giant MK Ultra meets crisis actor show so they can seize your guns, which they have never fucking done. People have buried child after child after child after child. And this motherfucker still, you want him to be able to go on the air for the next one? And what do you think the Sandy Hook parents are going to do? Well, we got our money, so if he goes and, torments some other poor soul who's lost their wife or their child or their father or their mother or their friend. Jesus.
Now here's what's going to happen.
I will give Tim credit for one thing. One thing. He doesn't pretend to be a Christian. Unlike Alex Jones and a bunch of these other assholes, he doesn't fake being a Christian. He's just a Darwinist asshole. And credit where credit is due.
This is the most insane move, in my opinion, because right-wing...
The most insane move. Guy loses a civil suit for $1 billion, has about $300,000 worth of gear and shit in his business, and they're going to auction it off to pay part of it. And this is the most insane thing.
Interests, people who like Alex Jones, can simply buy up enough of it and then hire Alex Jones.
Yeah, great idea. Mm-hmm. You're not big on fine print, are you?
What are you going to do?
They will garnish the wages of the people who buy it and employ him in it, because that's part of that's why you're saying that talking point about shutting down his business, because that's part of it as well.
Some 20-year-old guy
A boy can dream, can he?
Who's got a net worth of negative
Wait, someone half your age?
$5,000 credit card debt can file for an LLC, offer up a rev share contract for Alex Jones as an independent contractor, and then film on his phone, make tons of money, and then pay Alex Jones a salary. And then what happens?
Well, again, why wouldn't just Alex Jones just film on his fucking phone? Why would he go into debt? By the way, Deborah goes, what's wrong with Darwin? Nothing's wrong with Darwin. Being a Darwinist is a different thing. It's basically, there is no worth to human life, period. Nothing matters. It's a nihilism.
In the event they go after this new company, that kid with a negative net worth goes, okay, I'll shut the company down, start another one. We don't have any money. There's literally nothing they can do to stop Alex Jones. Sorry.
Well, then they're not making any money anyways. What is he doing? Was he going to live in the fucker's garage? How does this play out? I want to watch this sitcom. Hey, I'm moving into your garage today. We're going to start Infowars 2, The Reckoning. What's your name again? Cheeto Fingers? Dim Drool, Tim Pool. Okay, you live in the basement, I live in the garage, and your mom what? Is she hot? I'm sorry, I shouldn't have asked that. I should have just done what I normally do, which is peer through the fucking shutters when she's not looking.
They just can't do it. They say he was sued for defamation in 2018.
No, they don't say it. He was. And he lost. They say, Jesus.
And they were awarded more than $1.4 billion in damages. But the most the families are likely to ever see is a small fraction of that, and they have been divided over how to equitably distribute the money. As the case is headed to court in 2022, Mr. Jones's company declared bankruptcy.
Because he tried to avoid paying them. And failed.
Jones declared personal bankruptcy soon afterwards. Since then, the families have been wrangling in bankruptcy court over assets and revenue that are far less than they originally envisioned.
Okay, let me explain something to both this asshole and whoever's writing the article. The Sandy Hook family members are not in the hole financially, specific to $1.4 billion, whatever they were awarded him. The expectation is not that they're going to end up getting every penny of that unless it exists, right? Up to, basically, it's like life in prison from a business standpoint, right? You might die before then. The state is not responsible for keeping you on putting tubes in you and keeping you alive till you reach the average age of somebody in jail and that, for what you're in, and then pull the plug on it. It doesn't work that way. That's the ceiling, and they get everything up to that. Also, no amount of money will buy their fucking children back. Do you understand? No, there may be costs in exhuming the grave of their child and moving it somewhere else so that some Alex Jones / Tim Pool fan doesn't find it and desecrate it again. But that's not going to cost them $1 billion. It's going to cost them $30,000. You understand? So none of this money is to fill an exact thing. They were not defrauded of $300,000 each. They lost their fucking child, and then they were tormented by this motherfucker. And even if they each got $1.4 billion apiece, it's not going to buy their child back. Nor would any of them trade if they said, hey, we can bring your child back to life, or you can have $1.4 billion. None of them would go, I'll take the $1.4 billion. Why would I want my kid alive again? Shut the fuck up. And look, there's no depth below the beanie, so why would I expect him to even consider how fucking disgusting he is being right now?
Mr. Jones's personal and business assets combined are worth less than $10 million.
Bullshit.
According to independent valuations presented in court.
Presented in court. Independent valuations by the defense.
His lawyers and other bankruptcy professionals will be paid first, leaving even less for the families. That's funny.
It is funny. It is funny. Fuck these people, right, Tim? Leaving less for the families is funny. You know what I mean? Just saying the phrase leaving less for the families is so fucking funny. It's so funny, Tim. Tim, think about how funny that is, man. Laugh to yourself about how fucking funny that is. Jesus Christ. And let me tell you something. He didn't have to talk about this. He didn't have to. You think we're short of news stories these days? You think that if you get up in the morning and you're like, shit, I gotta fill 4 hours of live streaming, that you'll come up fucking dry these days? No. But you gotta self-select some shit out. Not that, not that. This. And so Tim Pool, in a fucking fire hose of news, a constantly erupting volcano of details and stories, both foreign and domestic, that involve American politics and the kind of stuff his viewers would want to see, he selected specifically to go to the defense of Alex Jones and mock the families that lost children that were shredded in a fucking preschool. God damn it. And look at his dopey fucking face. Like he thinks this is cute. Okay, let me give you just for sake of balance. Imagine if we were talking about the attempt on Trump's life in Butler, PA. And my response was to the death of Corey Comparator and the injury of the other two people that were there, that, luckily the bullets, didn't pass through Trump's body, because they might have slowed down, and instead of dying instantly, Corey Comparator might have suffered some more. Imagine me just floating that idea out, and flippantly, and laughing about it. Now, you're welcome to go back to anything I've said and say, look for any situation, maggots especially. We've got some maggots in here. It's the greatest live stream in the history of the world. We have to have at least a few maggots and trolls assigned to view us at any given time, right? Don't they have to? I feel bad if the Russians weren't at least attaching a couple of them to us to try and push back or dick around or occasionally throw a Trump Vance 2024 shit in the chat. I feel slightly let down, But go back over any of my broadcasts since I started this full-time live stream during COVID, and find a situation where I've called for the violence towards other people, or been flippant when it has occurred. More, by the way, and there's always a sliding scale about this. I would argue that my point about Trump not being hit by a bullet, but by a piece of glass from his teleprompter, and it doesn't fucking matter which it was, but it was more than likely a piece of glass from his fucking teleprompter. But he wants you to believe the bullet went through his ear, because it sounds fucking macho, so he can say God wanted to save me, while he's never recognizing that the flip to that thing, God wanted to save me, means God wanted that firefighter who came to my rally with his family to die in front of them. Fuck you! I'm certain I would have had, loud, uncomfortable arguments with Corey Comparator. But I would rather that than him be dead. I have no interest in that guy being dead. And I certainly have no interest in a religion that would go, Well, somebody had to die that day because it's, God has this thing. It's like this balancing wheel that he has. Somebody has to die. Every bullet leaves the chamber. It's got to kill at least a few people. It's God's law. It's not my law. And so the fireman had to die so that Trump could live to save America. And I'm going to believe that. It's like fucking goofy. It's terrible. And look at this chimp. It's so fucking, they're going to pay his lawyers. It'd be fucking hilarious.
The Connecticut and Texas sides divided sharply over how to go after free speech systems. Lawyers for the family who sued Mr. Jones in Connecticut, the relatives of 8 victims, favored shutting down the company and liquidating its assets, with the money distributed among the family members. Here's what I hope for. Congratulations, you've done it. I hope within 6 months, Alex Jones' company is operating once again. It's a new company. There's nothing you can do. You can't subject someone to indentured servitude like this. It just doesn't work. You can't do it.
You can if they've been found liable for a massive debt that they refuse to pay, especially when it was done with malice.
Anyway.
Again, like I said, stream on your fucking phone, Alex Jones. Your free speech is not being taken. Making money on a particular, as a broadcaster or something, that's going to be garnished for a while.
Okay. Lawyers for the families who sued Mr. Jones in Texas favored a settlement in which he would pay them a percentage of his income over the next decade, most likely netting more money for each relative, which is the legitimate way to go about doing it.
No. That's the way to do it if you don't mind him possibly doing this to other families in the future. Hats off to the people in Connecticut who sued him there. And by the way, the difference was what was possible in the courts too, because in the Texas courts there are different rules about stuff. You can sue deeper in the Connecticut courts. They knew they could get that. One of the reasons they're like, well, we'll take a piece of his, maybe we'll try and take a piece of his income and his profit, his direct revenue was what you would do in the Texas courts, because that's what's allowed.
As a condition of the latter deal, Mr. Jones would have had to agree never to mention the shooting again.
No, but he could call anybody who lost a child or a partner or a friend or a loved one in a mass shooting a crisis actor if he wanted to. Just not those people. Just not those kids. Anybody else, fucking fine. Do you see the problem with that? Now, he could still do that for free. I got news for you. Alex Jones tomorrow can go on his phone, his personal phone, and live stream to a non-business streaming service. He can set up a fucking Rumble site or a fucking BitChute or any of these, Kick or whatever the fuck, whatever won't kick him off. Shit, VK, I guarantee the Russian Facebook would host this asshole. He can post videos for free and shit talk the Sandy Hook families all he wants. It's gross, but he can do it. But once you start making money off of it, that's when he's got a problem. And that's the part that Tim doesn't seem to understand, or doesn't want to understand, because he sees part of this in his future.
The asset sale is probably the least lucrative option for the family members.
Hey, asshole. They didn't lose farm equipment or their truck in a collision. They lost their child. This isn't fucking spackle. The hole left by what he did can never be filled.
Its potential for shutting down Infowars appealed to some. Juries in the 2 lawsuits awarded individual relatives widely varying amounts. And lawyers from Connecticut,
based on what they asked for. And the widely varying part was because one asked for a lot and one asked for a little, and they both got everything they asked for and then some.
And Texas sides have been dueling over how to fairly allocate the money. I think it's hilarious the families are fighting over money. That's insane.
You think it's hilarious? And by the way, does it say that they're dueling over it, or they're just trying to figure out how to, equitably put the money out? Because some people, by the way, were affected more than others. Some parents were directly attacked and others were tangentially attacked. And it was effectively a class action lawsuit, but there were definitely 3 or 4 of the parents that were particular targets, and then there were secondary targets that didn't catch as much hell. I'll give you an example. Ruby Free and Shamos. They caught a ton of shit from Trump and from Rudy Giuliani, and they won a lot of money in the lawsuit against Rudy Giuliani. But there were other workers in that room that have been tormented and mistreated and threatened and all that kind of shit. But they weren't name dropped on the news on the regular, both on the right and the left and kind of the center, and mentioned on CNN and shit. So those folks would get as much money as Ruby Free and Shamos because Ruby Free and Shamos, they have to fucking move. They may even have to change their fucking names. They have to buy security for family members.
The situation is further complicated by the fact that a jury is yet to decide how much in damages Mr. Jones must pay to Lenny Posner and Veronica De La Rosa, whose son Noah Posner died in the shooting.
No part of that you find hilarious, Tim? You're not... You fucking whinge. Noah, I find it hilarious that they haven't figured out how much to pay the parents of the dead boy. You know, there's nothing about that you just immediately find hilarious. God damn it. Ugh.
Should be interesting. I think there are a lot of issues with the case. But I think we're well past going over the merits of the case at this point.
Yeah, you already lost. It's gone through the courts. There are no merits that you can defend him with. He is meritless. Tim and Alex are both disgusting fucking human beings. Alex Jones, I hope you see this clip. I've been on his show once, many, many years ago, when he was just a run-of-the-mill asshole conspiracy theorist, well before he became effectively a stochastic terrorist, because that's what his job is these days. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you what Infowars is. It is a stochastic terrorism network. Its goal is to put fucking bullseyes on innocent people's backs. To lie about everyone. And use this veneer of populism to hide behind it. Alex Jones is a stochastic terrorist. That's what got shut down. Yet another stochastic terrorism network got shut down when Infowars was officially ordered to be liquidated. That's what he is. That's what he does. And by the way, so is Glenn Beck. Fuck me. All right, so, and by the way, I don't want you guys to get worried that I'm getting riled up on my birthday. I'm very proud to get riled up about the right things. I want you to know that. Because I give a shit, and I'm never going to stop giving a shit in that regard. I don't have a Glenn Beck clip on this. There is one piece I want to do, and I know I'm going to run out of time if and I'll try, there's these two pieces I want to do that I think are hilarious. This was relatively short. Ladies and gentlemen, can I take you on a little trip? Hello, chat room. I would like to, I'm 55 today, by the way, for those that are asking. It's my birthday, and I'm 55 years old. Hi there. Oh, and Alex Jones is 5 years younger than I am. Just saying. Just saying. Just, yeah. Alex Jones is, and Tim Pool is 15, 16 years, 17 years younger than I am. Yeah. So there you go. But let's go with, okay, so there have been, there's been a lot of people, there's a stochastic terrorism industrial complex. Let's call it STIC. The STIC is this is this right-wing business model where we will gin up hatred, violence, or fear in or about a certain community, endangering the lives of everybody there. And one of the biggest ones is, of course, Springfield, Ohio. Now, this is Springfield, always and forever. These windows were not broken out recently by Haitian immigrants. I'm just letting you know. But Springfield, Ohio, lifelong resident reveals the truth on the migrant crisis. Finally, an inside scoop, a 3 minutes and 44 seconds. How much, I mean, that's the thing about the truth. It doesn't require a lot of exposition. It's pretty direct. It happens immediately. And this is, well, let's visit. Let's take a little trip to Springfield, Ohio with the Blaze.
All right, Bill. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Bill Monaghan. I live up the road here. Been in town.
He lives up the road.
Probably 57 of my 62 years.
This is Bill Monaghan. Okay.
Bill Monaghan is a former journalist who helped manage a Facebook group called
I'm the dude, so that's what you call me.
The influx into Springfield, Ohio.
Well, I've noticed a rent going up for people a couple years.
Okay, he noticed the rent going up. Okay, he noticed it for people. Not for him, but for people. Okay.
Years ago, didn't know why. And then in June of this...
I know. I think I know why. The rent is going up. Why might the rent be going up? Because Haitians got a lot of scratch.
Here, a neighbor told me, we're coming up on it now, this pond used to be full, and I mean full, like maybe a dozen
A dozen? Are you just saying a dozen twice, or a dozen times a dozen, or 2 dozen?
Peking ducks, the white feather.
Wait. Peking duck. So no.
Maybe a dozen Peking ducks, the white feathered ducks. They're domestic ducks.
You mean the pure white ducks? What's wrong with these? Are they not edible? I don't need black ducks. That's racist.
They don't migrate. They lived around here.
I gotta say, seemed to be a decent number of geese in the area. This is all footage from Springfield. I'm just saying. If I was him, he looks Canadian to me. I would also, Peking duck is a way of preparing duck. It is not an actual kind of duck. There might be domesticated, like, ducks that were at literally a farm that had ducks that sold them for food. Yes, that's a Canadian goose. That is not, and the rest of the those ducks are not Peking ducks. Yeah, Peking duck is, as I've said, it's also known as Beijing Kaoya, which is Beijing roast duck. It's very good. It's the ducks you see hanging in the window. They are not white. You'll notice they don't have any feathers on them. Nobody knows.
And I was told they were all wiped out. And I was told
they were all wiped out, and you were told that that's why the rent went up. So the ducks left the pond and moved into apartment buildings, and they've got a lot of money to spend because they have family in Canada or in Beijing.
It was by Haitians who eat them.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm satisfied. You guys, so you notice the rents were going up, and then there used to be 144 ducks in this all white Peking duck. So, and again, obviously already roasted and flavored. That used to be in this pond, and now they're all gone. Because Haitians.
Don't know if that's true or not, but
fuck you, dude. You're well, this might be why he's a former journalist and not an actual journalist, but maybe find out if it's true. Maybe ask around. Maybe ask if anybody fucking saw somebody catching a duck from the fucking pond and eating it. Maybe or shut your fucking trap because you don't know what you're talking about. It's like there used to be like 144 of them, and they don't migrate. They're local, and even when it's snowing, they stay.
I got to be curious what was going on, so...
Sure. As any unverified, seemingly racist lie would.
I went to my first city hall meeting in years. I was just really struck by how hateful and dismissive they were towards people who are raising concerns about other issues around the migrant.
Okay, real quick. Were the issues raised anything like the way you raised them? Because I'm guessing so, because this is after that. So it's not, if anything, you would have more information since you started going, right? Yes, that as time goes on, you would get more information, perhaps more information, and therefore you'd be building on like, now I know this, 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 and this. At that time, I knew even less. And you're being called out for being a racist dick because you are.
Crisis.
Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
As soon as stories of Haitians eating pets started going viral online.
Eat the cat.
Okay, no. Stories of them eating cats didn't go viral. Trump saying that bullshit is what went viral. That's what this is.
Mainstream media, in lockstep, did what it does best. It created a counter-narrative.
The oldest racist tropes. They call these
Hold on. What? Real quick. No. They didn't create a counter-narrative. You don't have a narrative, motherfucker. You don't have one. You don't have an interview with somebody going, I love eating the ducks right out of the pond. You don't have somebody going, I should film video of somebody taking the ducks. I talked to this other guy I went over to his house and they were cooking duck. And I was like, where'd you fucking get that? At the grocery store? I didn't even know they sold duck. And you're like, no, that's a chicken. And like, you don't have any of that stuff. The news isn't coming up with a counter narrative. This is an actual narrative. This is the actual story. They're not countering your story, which is true. You're lying your ass off.
Baseless claims, racist, xenophobic.
Doubled down on their racist lies, falsely accusing Haitians living in Springfield, Ohio, of eating people's pets.
According to the media, Springfield residents expressing concerns about a sudden influx of 20,000 Haitians were the real problem.
I talked to one.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Expressing concerns about them is not the problem. Saying we don't have enough resources, there's a lot of people here, we've almost doubled our population, we need more teachers, we need more support for this system, we also need help with folks assimilating and acclimating to the culture around here. There's nothing wrong with saying that. Might be how you're saying that, because it sounds a little gross and maybe you're not the person. Maybe that's the other thing. Maybe there's a real issue here and you are the worst person to try and bring it up because you don't have the skills or the inability to not sound like a racist asshole because you are, that you shouldn't talk about. You should go, you know what? I'm going to sit this one out. Somebody else will explain this better than I do because if I start talking about it, they won't take me seriously because of other shit I've said. Maybe that's me. Maybe you should sit this one out because it's a real issue and it does require real solutions. Maybe that. Because they're there legally. Maybe. All right.
Man who saw some of these baseless claims as credible. And he told me he feels like Springfield's going to be lost because it'll be sort of overrun in his mind with Haitians.
Hateful speech that literally are creating those security issues in Springfield.
So-called.
Yeah, again, if you're going to play a clip of someone who's an activist for, say, Haitian immigrants, maybe pick a clip where what she's saying isn't true.
Reporters from around the country swarmed Springfield, calling out Springfield residents by name.
NBC News has now spoken to a woman. Her name is Erica Lee, and she's the woman behind one of those.
Whoa. Hold on. They didn't call her out. She came forward. She posted They didn't single her out until she singled her out.
Viral post. She just texted me, quote,
She just texted me. She reached out like that.
Messed up royally, and she said she never meant to cause so much hate.
So have there been concerns?
Here's a real good idea. Why this segment is 3 minutes and 44 seconds. Why all the slow-mo? Was this guy fucking so crazy and so Busey that you couldn't actually get 4 sentences out of him? You couldn't have a sit down with this motherfucker? This is the Blaze reporter, and this is the guy that they're interviewing. Fucking interview him. What is this claptrap? What am I watching? PM Magazine? That aged the room, didn't it? Sure did.
Springfield about people who are speaking up about it, but they might not want to because they're going to be labeled racist or they're going to be labeled as xenophobic.
Oh, certainly. I mean, that's already happened. Again, at the city commission meetings, they're really careful not to come out and call you a racist, but they insinuate, again, the main concerns people.
Oh, dear. Oh, they insinuate, do they? They insinuate? Now, real quick, is there a chance that that person is being political in their speak because you're insinuating that what's going on is because of race and not because of, say, migrant poverty or other issues that could be handled? I see.
Come in with are, the economic concerns, and then there are the cultural concerns.
What have been?
Well, yeah. What are the cultural?
Some of the cultural concerns.
Yeah. What's the cultural concerns? I'm curious too.
Well, the reckless driving is
the reckless driving. By the way, in Ohio, you do not have to take a driver's ed course, and you only have to pass a written course, and I believe there's a road test, but you don't have to actually have any education. Even as at 18 years old, you can just do it. Like 16 to 18, I think, is when you actually have to have a driver's ed course. But anybody over 18, you can just pass a written test and off you go.
It's a huge one.
Maybe it's just that Ohio passes too many people.
A woman was run over and killed, and the driver has not been charged with any of even the traffic violations he was involved in.
A woman was run over and killed, and the guy was not even charged with any of the traffic violations. By the way, what he means is the expired tags on the vehicle. And if there's not a case for manslaughter or depraved indifference or any of that kind of stuff, or if he stayed there and went through it, then there's no charge to be had.
It's a more misogynistic kind of culture. Women report being followed around in stores by Haitians and to the point where they're so nervous they have to ask for an escort to get out.
I see. So certain white women, not all of them, but certain white women in Springfield feel nervous because they think a black dude is following them because they're in the grocery store and he's in the same aisle they are, and then they go to the next aisle and he comes to that same aisle because most people shop in an S-curve. I'm just fucking with you. Clearly, it's a rape culture and you can't get away with it. And women, women report, women report that black men are making them nervous, who may not even be Haitian, by the way, just, I guess they're not checking. So they have to ask for help. This black man seems to be a little close to me while I'm picking out my fake Newtons. But E. Jean Carroll's a liar. Okay? So from the Blaze. Anecdotal lady in the grocery store who thinks she's being followed by a black guy who may or may not be Haitian, so she gets race nerves and has to call for help, and doesn't call for help, walks over and goes, I think this guy's making me nervous, right? But E. Jean Carroll's a liar. Is that how this works? Yeah? Okay.
Out to their car. And I understand it's because of the climate down there, the social climate. there's a tendency to be kind of like intimidating with people, getting right up in people's faces. And I've seen that. And
was there any input to the city or?
Sorry, the social climate in Haiti that Haitians are close talkers? Is this the idea? And that's what he was describing? Or perhaps a black person from America who isn't Haitian is like, what the fuck are you talking about to a fellow American?
Or the county asked for any input from the community about this?
I would say mostly no. I mean, they might have allowed input, but they ignored it.
It was.
This sounds like a crisis to me. I don't know how it could get worse. The only thing that could make this better is if a bunch of ducks just landed in the water right there behind them while they're talking. I guarantee they would shoot a rat.
Was there even like a vote?
Oh heavens, no! I mean, they're on the commission.
But or there were a bunch of Haitians just out there like with soap washing themselves in the fucking fountain in the middle of the park pond.
Voted on a resolution, but there was no, referendum to the public about this. No.
Jesus Christ. It's a crisis. When, ladies and gentlemen, will we deal with the depth of the problem that exists? It's horrifying. It's a danger. It's brutal. It's scary. Sometimes if you go in the grocery store in Springfield, there are black people. I don't know if you know this. In Springfield, Ohio, right now. And some of them may or may not have accents. I'm not going to check because you have to get very close. And if you ask them, are you from Haiti? All of a sudden they sound all American and they go, what the fuck is the matter with you, lady? And they get up right in your face just because I was saying, go back to where you're from. And they're like, I'm from here. And I'm like, bullshit. And then they start getting all up in my face because I called a cop while they were trying to buy the last thing of Fig Newtons. And they're all off of this like, I want my Fig Newtons. And they're like, they're not Fig Newtons, dummy. This has raspberry filling. They're not Fig Newtons if they have raspberry filling. They might be Newtons. Maybe they're raspberry Newtons. I don't want to argue this. You're not even American. Yes, I am. Jesus Christ. Racist Jerry Garcia is hilarious. Yeah. They get way up into your face. Now, can I don't have a lot of time left and then I'm going to go to dinner, but I do want to, look, we all want, there's a lot we share, okay? We share the fact that this is the greatest live stream in the history of the interwebs. I'm Hal Sparks, Hal Sparksing like no one else can Hal Sparks. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. Patreon.com/Hal Sparks. Now, there's a Flapper show on Friday night for our Patreon people. I will be live streaming that for you. And if you're in Los Angeles, or the general Los Angeles area, and you feel like coming in, 10 o'clock Friday night, Flappers. Come on in. You can bring you and a guest if you're a Patreon subscriber to that show. And any other stand-up shows that I do by myself. I can't do it to the Sexy Liberal shows because I'm not kicking money out of anybody else's mouth. That's not my thing. But if it's my show and I have a say, you can get in there. Same thing with Nerd Halen shows. I think I probably have a 10-person limit, but most cities that spreads out. We don't have that many patrons. We should be all right. So that said, I am Hal Sparks. That's right, Doug. I'm not only Hal Sparks, I'm the Hal Sparks, and I'm the best Hal Sparks at Hal Sparksing that anyone has ever seen Hal Sparks in the history of Hal Sparksing. Sure. But what do we share? Folks, what do we share? What do we have in common? Even with those across the aisle, as they often will say. Even though they're in Congress, there's like 4 aisles just for safety, for evacuation purposes. There's a main aisle, but there's an outer aisle and I'm just saying there's like 5 aisles. But anyways, across the aisle, left to right, let's just say. Thanks very much about the pounding. What was that about? It was a good time. There's something we can reach across and we can agree on. And one is that we all want peace, don't we? don't we all want peace on Earth? Or at least a piece of pumpkin pie at Earth Cafe. Also good. Yeah. Wait, is there a Hal Carrot Pence? Oh, I see. That's the, I feel like somebody's asking for.
We're honored to have with us today our amazing Vice President, Mike Pence, and his wonderful wife, Carrot.
All right. But I think we can agree that we all want peace, including Carl Higby Sellers, Brandon, on Newsmax. You want peace? Prepare for war. But sorry, tell me how we should be cutting the defense budget, because that's the current talking point amongst the right. But okay, look, Carl occasionally gets off into the reeds, but he's got a step-by-step breakdown on how to get world peace. Folks, it's been solved, and Carl's done it in 9 minutes, and we won't even have to watch the whole thing because I'm sure it will be full of other bullshit. But Carl Higby, Frontline, Brandon, I think you should call his show Branded, myself. He rips apart the United Nations empty calls for war. What? Hold on. Oh, that's good. On Tuesday's episode of Carl Higby Frontline, Carl ripped apart the United Nations empty calls for war peace. You mean world peace? I'm not familiar. War peace must be its own kind of separate thing. Explained how to actually get world peace. Okay, well, that's clear. And more on Newsmax. And big emphasis on moron. All right, here we go. This is Carl, and he's figured it out. Look, I'll take a pathway to peace. Let's see it. You know what I mean?
Literally on fire. And we have a bunch of people in Manhattan with the UN talking. So the world is literally on fire. And
okay, the world is literally not on fire. The world is, I'm just telling you, don't be afraid to go outside. It is not on fire. There are fires, it's that biblical curiosity of wars and rumors of wars as a sign of when Jesus is coming back that makes it a little difficult to kind of pin him down on an exact date, because that's always fucking true.
We have a bunch of people in Manhattan with the UN talking about peace with our lame duck president.
Well, he's the president. Sorry, is world peace a lame duck issue? Will the next president, no matter who they are, not want peace? Is that the idea?
Since October 7, we've also been determined to prevent a wider war that engulfs the entire region. Hezbollah, unprovoked, during the October 7th attack, launching rockets into Israel. Almost a year later, too many on each side of the Israeli-Lebanon border remain displaced. Full-scale war is not in anyone's interest. Even if the situation has escalated, a diplomatic solution is still possible. As we look ahead...
Also, yes, that's fine. Yes, good thing.
Must also address the rise of violence against innocent Palestinians on the West Bank.
Oh, that's what Newsmax has a problem with. That's what it was. That's what made him mad. Yeah, Biden defending innocent Palestinians. You can't do that. Yeah, no. Now, first of all, it fucks up the Lee Camp, Jimmy Dore, rusty trombone, storyline that they sell to hyper lefties that, Genocide Joe and all that kind of shit doesn't. It's hard if he actually, in front of the UN, calls for this, limits the size of the bombs we give to Israel, provides aid to Palestinians in this situation. It's still, you can't play that clip. It doesn't help.
And set the conditions for a better future, including a two-state solution.
Right. Obviously, that's Biden getting out over his skis again, going off the rails, coming up with some gaffy, weird thing.
A two-state solution has been proposed by America and other countries like 4 times in the last 30 years. It's been rejected by Hamas.
4 times? It is always on the table.
Or Hezbollah or Iranian proxies every single time. The problem.
Okay, by the way, Hezbollah doesn't have a say in it, dumb fuck. And Iranian proxies, you mean Hamas. You already said that. Hamas wasn't even in power fucking 35 years ago, much less 20.
Problem is and then what? You can't just say, well, let's have world peace.
That's not what they're doing. This is a speech. And speeches are where you say shit. But they actually have, there's other shit that goes on at the UN that involves meetings and plans and the carrying out of strategy. Does this motherfucker think that, maybe he does. Maybe because all Trump does is talk. Maybe he thinks that's what everybody else does too.
It happens to be, you need a catalyst to help that along.
You need a catalyst to help that along. So what will help along the two-state solution? Carl Higbie, Brendan.
These people at the UN have no idea what they're doing.
These people, the leaders of whatever, 160 countries that are part of it?
Name me one accomplishment of the UN in the last 20 years that actually forwarded world peace, like specifically.
Every time you haven't had a war? I mean, you're asking to prove a negative, but the idea is it's like, show me how the State Department has ever won a war. Well, their whole purpose is to stop them. Also, they've interjected in between civil wars in a bunch of different countries over time and helped rebuild them afterwards. That would be the thing, I guess.
The experts, scholars, foreign leaders, overpaid consultants, white paper authors.
Yeah, fuck them. Carl Higbie, Brendan, has got it figured out. Tell us how it goes.
I am going to give you a map to solving world peace in the next 5 minutes.
Fabulous. That's all we need. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you should send this straight to the UN. These guys they probably don't know how to read, Carl. Why don't you go down there and tell them, man? Tell you what, go make a speech. Oh, that's just talk. You know what?
The first thing, you have to define your enemies.
Yes, nothing is more peaceful than defining an enemy. That's what I got to say. When I make my checklist of how I want peace in any area, it starts with defining my enemy.
Iran, its proxies, Houthis, Hezbollah, Taliban, other various terrorist offshoots like ISIS. These are...
Sorry, you really threw in the Taliban, the group that Trump released 5,000 Taliban fighters before the withdrawal from Afghanistan when he knew this? Basically hoping that they would kill a bunch of people so that we would stay in forever. We now know this because he's saying it openly. But also, you don't think we've defined the Houthis are the enemy? We gave them a break for a little while to see if they wanted to, form a regular government. They acted like assholes, and we said, nope, back on the list. Gave everybody a shot. Can't say we didn't give you a chance.
Are our enemies. They want every American, Republican and Democrat alike, to die. They don't care about your virtue signaling.
Well, I would say the Iranians don't. I think their leadership does, and there's certain Islamists amongst the top leadership especially, but the average Iranian, that's one of the biggest problems we have with a massive fight breaking out with Iran is that the vast majority of Iranians, except for the ones that were taken over in the Muslim expansion, actually sided with Europeans for a very long time and believe in like open pluralistic society where women don't have to cover their hair and all kinds of shit like that. That's what the conflict. So why would we want to bomb people who are working through that conflict? You know what I mean?
Parades.
Oh, all right, I'll chat. Hold on. Somebody's saying happy birthday. Thank you. That's good. Oh, Deanne, thank you so much. By the way, I'm going to be on Stephanie Miller's show in the morning tomorrow, just letting you know. In the last hour, 8 o'clock hour, my time. And let's see. Thank you so much. All right. Anyways, Carl, you were saying?
Justice for Palestine. They don't care about what political party you're affiliated with. They just want to kill every American.
Yeah, but that's not all the people there. That's kind of the point. That's why we haven't carpet bombed them and why you don't. But again, sorry. So you want to define the enemy. And according to Carl Higbie, the first step in the path to peace is defining everyone who lives in a particular country or who is around or under a particular group, because again, the Taliban control big swaths of Afghanistan, but the people around them, the women, the children, the other people, you know, are subject to them in the same way that, you know, say the mob maybe controlled some neighborhoods in New York in the 70s, but not everybody was in the mob. So the idea of like carpet bombing Hell's Kitchen wouldn't really solve the problem. It would have just killed a bunch of innocent people. Yeah, none of this is registering? No, okay.
Most of this is religious fanaticism with a desire for Islamic supremacy. That's not racist. That's just a fact. But the people...
Well, it's because religions aren't races.
Well, the White House don't understand that.
Okay, but saying Iranians are our enemy when there are Zoroastrians, Persians, Christians, like Jews in Iran and the like, versus, say, Islamists and then regular Muslims, that the Islamists themselves, while they may control the place and rule it with an iron hand, the rest of the people are actually on our side in a lot of ways. And if they could get out, they would get out.
Now, barring eliminating them in their entire region, which you're...
Right, which sounds a little racist. I will give you a little bit. Look, so barring rounding them all up, say in train cars, and putting them in some sort of a place with ovens.
We're not going to do this at this time.
At this time. Okay, good. Well, I'm glad. Hey, look, count your blessings, kids. He's like, we're not going to genocide all Iranians right now. Okay? Hang out.
You cannot defeat this. You just have to keep it at bay. Like Donald Trump showed the leader of the Taliban a picture of his home and said, if you mess with us, I'm going to send a rocket into your house.
Where you, he's like, yeah, where he wasn't at the time. You do realize when he said, why do you show me a picture of my house? He doesn't actually live there. He wasn't actually there. When he had this conversation with him, he had just gotten out of a Pakistani jail and was meeting with the Taliban leadership in Afghanistan. He wasn't at home. He wasn't anywhere near where his family was. You know who was in that house, allegedly? I mean, it's a bullshit story. Anyways, you know who's in there? Arguably his wife or wives and children. Like, you fuck with us and I'll kill the women and children, was what Trump was saying. Which is, by the way, technically a post-birth abortion. Just say it. Big, like, way post-birth, but still.
And it worked. That's the...
No, it didn't. It did not work. Trump said this week that they broke the deal of the Doha agreement. It didn't work.
Only way to deal with these people, with force. The second thing...
Sorry, these people. Oh, you mean fictional people he just fucking made up because the leader of the Taliban's name is not Abdul?
Is defining our adversaries.
I see. So 2 out of 3 of these fucking things. The third one, spoiler alert, our adversaries. Let me guess. Those would be our allies that you don't like because they want to support Ukraine or something.
They don't
Taiwan.
necessarily want to destroy us. They just want to be superior to us. China, probably the first one on this list, followed by Russia. And it's shocking to me that nobody in the White House has taken 30 seconds to sit down and define these things.
You're an idiot. Carl, what the fuck do you think the Chips and Science Act was all about? Have you read a single article about the Chinese economy in the last 3 fucking years? You really think they're just like, I don't know, has anybody checked on China lately? Are you really that fucking stupid? Carl, dude, really? You're just going to go with being that dumb? That works. Hey, look, I'm not going to question your business model over at Newsmax. Obviously, it works for Greg Kelly. Playing the kind of useless idiot, it's a moneymaker. And maybe that's how you get that time slot. But it's a bad look. I'm just saying.
Look, China is a communist country. Communists want total control. They don't need to kill everybody. They do sometimes, but they are seeking to financially leverage America so they can control.
Yeah, that's what communists do. They financially leverage. That's what communists have always sought. financial leverage. You know what I mean? I think it was Karl Marx who said, after he used the N-word to describe Jews, he said, what we really need is financial leverage. And then he went back to drinking brandy on the warm side of a bay window.
Roll enough debt, and we have enough liabilities that they can destabilize us. They hope.
Asshole, they buy our debt like everyone else, and if they sell it, someone else buys it. China bought 8% of our open treasury certificates because it was a good bet. If they sell it, I got news for you. There are dozens of other countries that can afford them. They won't all be in one country, but they'll all be bought. Indonesia will buy some. Japan will buy some. Australia will buy some. I got news for you, motherfucker. They'll get scooped the fuck up. We don't owe China that. We're not like, oh, shit. China keeps calling it like we're dodging them like fucking creditors.
COVID would have helped.
I gotta leave soon, but this guy's annoying me. We gotta at least get to world peace.
That along the way. Once America is financially compromised, and we are super close to that.
No, we're not.
By the way, China.
No, we're not. We are not. Any more than somebody who goes, hey, how much does your house cost? My house is about $460,000 a year. Yeah. What's your salary? It's about $420,000. So if you basically just spent all your money one year, you could just pay off your mortgage. If you didn't pay any of your other bills, you could just pay off. So you're just doling out a chunk of it based on, like regularly paying it as you go because it's worth more to you than not being in that house. Yeah, okay, that's the American economy and our debt.
China will invade Taiwan because if they control Taiwan.
No, they won't.
Taiwan, they control 90% of the semiconductors that go into our computers.
Yes, because 90% of the semiconductors that are in our computers are not good ones. 90% of the semiconductors in computers you can get, or in computer systems you can get, are low-end Lenovo shit laptop, cheap ones, dummy. It's that, that 10%? That's the part that fucking matters. They already make those 90% kind of chips in China. They just get them from there because they're cheap.
Control everything in our economy. But part two, and this is why Russia and China are working together right now.
Are they? You're adorable.
Now,
what they're working together? Is part of the come here. Carl, psst, come here. Is part of them working together China renaming parts of Russia that they lost in the Sino-Russian War back to their Chinese names in anticipation of taking them once Russia falls apart? Is that working together?
What is Ukraine the primary producer of?
Well, grain, it's part of the breadbasket of Europe. And of course, Africa has issues. They don't produce enough grain. And so it certainly backfills that amount.
Neon.
Oh, dear. One more time.
Right now. What is Ukraine the primary producer of? Neon. What the heck is neon, and what does that?
Obviously, it's the stuff from the lights that we all use to decide whether some place is open or closed.
Neon just so.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, hold on. I'm fairly certain. Let's see. I need to open up. This guy right here. Try and see if I can bring up. This is, by the way, this is the category of defining your adversaries. This is what he's talking about. This would, by the way, I don't know where. I'll show you what he means. Let's see. Now, real quick, before we even get into this, one of the things you need to know about all of these things that they like to talk about is that America has found and a lot of other countries have found, in the expansion of our just-in-time manufacturing and in the cheapness of getting stuff from other countries and shipping it in, is that in a lot of cases we'll get like 80% of our ibuprofen from China, for example, and they're like, what happens? Fuck, what happens if China cuts us off and we won't have any ibuprofen left? I'm like, okay, asshole. We can get ibuprofen from a lot of places. It's just super cheap coming from China, so we get 80% of it from there. So that it's super cheap. Here's what happens. The price goes up a nickel. We get 80% of the rest of, we get 20% that we already have from Canada or Mexico or wherever we're getting it from. And then we get the other 80% we get from Europe or we get from fucking India or something like that. We make up the difference and it's a nickel more expensive. That's what it is. Okay. And by the way, the neon argument is actually pro-Ukraine. I would like to make the point. So Ukraine halts half of world's neon output for chips, clouding outlook. Okay, so Ukraine's two leading suppliers of neon, which produce about half the world's supply of the key ingredient. And again, they do that, but they're not the only way we get it. They just currently do. About half, by the way. Supply of key ingredient for making chips have halted their operations as Moscow has sharpened its attack on the country, threatening to raise prices and aggravate the semiconductor shortage. Now, they're not doing it for spite. So here you go. Some 45 to 54% of the world's semiconductor grade neon, critical for the lasers used to make chips. And again, this is for the actual, this isn't in the chips themselves. It's in the lasers used to etch them. Okay? So you don't need a lot of it. It's not like it's in every chip. That's the other lie that he's putting out. Critical for lasers used to make chips comes from two Ukrainian companies, Ingus and Cryoin. According to Reuters, calculations based on figures from the companies and market research firm TechSet, global neon consumption for chip production reached about 540 metric tons last year. Both firms have shuttered their operations, according to company representatives contacted by Reuters, as Russian troops have escalated their attacks on cities throughout Ukraine, killing civilians and destroying key infrastructure. They didn't shut it down. The Russians shut it down. The stoppage casts a cloud over the worldwide output of chips. And again, this is a volume thing, not a quality thing. The ones that are making quality for like AI and high-end chips and the kind of shit that we use in our military and in cars and shit like that, that's on a higher age level. They're able to get plenty. It's the crappy chips that are cut very poorly in a lot of situations that end up in fucking toys that we're talking about. So this idea that like, oh, fuck, we're going to run out of neon. Now what have you done? That's, again. And just because they produce about 50% of it doesn't mean there aren't other sources. It's just been the cheapest way to get it. Now, the stoppage casts a cloud over the worldwide output of chips already in short supply after the coronavirus pandemic drove up demand for cell phones, laptops, and later cars, forcing some firms to scale back production. While estimates vary widely about the amount of neon stocks chip makers keep on hand, production could take a hit if the conflict drags on. Could, if drags on. If stockpiles are depleted by April and chip makers don't have orders locked up in other regions of the world, it likely means further constraints for the broader supply chain and inability to manufacture the end project for many key customers. What that means, Huawei, shit cell phones that are sold in Mexico and Africa. But it doesn't mean Europe and the United States because we have plenty. This dude is talking out of his ass.
Happens to be one of the most important things to produce semiconductors. So
yeah, why is that? Is it in all of them? If you want to produce them, notice how he says that. To produce semiconductors, meaning the lasers that they use. They need neon for that. I enjoy being aggravated at this point.
So if Russia
will you get to world peace already? I got to go to dinner.
Rolls over Ukraine and China isn't good with them, they have an unlimited supply of neon for when they take control of Taiwan, which you know.
Wait a minute. Sorry. So if Russia wins in Ukraine, back the fuck up. So all this seems to be is making the case that we should not let Russia take control of Ukraine because they will control the supply of neon for making chips. All the more reason, I think, to drive Russia out. Yes?
Things to produce
56 Nick Ridge. My Huawei phone costs $98. It's a bad piece of gear. Sorry to tell you. You might want to check it. I mean, obviously, you don't have a high clearance job, so it's not like they're spying on you, but yeah.
Conductors. So if Russia rolls over Ukraine and China is in...
If Russia rolls over Ukraine, well, then I think we should, right there, in defining not an adversary, we should probably protect Ukraine to protect our supply of neon, eh?
Good with them. They have an unlimited supply of neon for when they...
No, they have a limited supply. It's only 50% of the current world supply. Stupid.
They take control of Taiwan, which you know they're going to try to do if Kamala Harris wins. And
why would they do that? We have American soldiers on the beach in Taiwan. China would lose 1 million soldiers in the first attack.
They will control 99% of the things we need for all of our electronics.
No, they won't. And again, these are our adversaries, not our enemies. So Russia is attacking the source of neon in your little theory here, but they're adversarial, not an enemy.
You see how this works?
Yes, you have two brain cells and they keep missing each other. They're bouncing around in there, and somehow it's amazing because there's nothing in there interrupting. They just never seem to collide.
They are playing chess while Biden is playing tiddlywinks.
Sorry. Real quick, if we're playing tiddlywinks, sorry, Biden killed 700,000 Russians playing tiddlywinks? Fuck, he's a tough dude.
Also,
Corn Pop never had a chance.
So when we left Afghanistan, China just casually strolled in and tapped into a $1.5 trillion lithium deposit in that country that we didn't touch, by the way.
Right, because we don't need it. Because we have the Salton Sea. Because the salt flats in California have more lithium than we will ever fucking need. And we're moving away from lithium ion as the primary battery source. It's transitional, stupid. Hey, real quick, if we move away from lithium ion batteries and the new batteries are cheaper, they're solid state, they don't require lithium, and the rest of the world can adapt to them and start using them a lot quicker, what's that $1.5 trillion lithium mine worth? What's that deposit worth if nobody needs it? I'm almost done. I will. I'm coming. Hold on. One more thing, and then I'll be right there. And then I got to put some real pants on.
So they can make the batteries for the electric cars that Biden and Kamala Harris are mandating you to drive over the next 5 years. Keep in mind, our adversaries don't have elections, so they can just do whatever they want. There's no...
Right, which is why you like Trump, because he wants to do the same
constitution in those countries. People like Ronald Reagan, Donald Trump, they understood this.
Oh, you mean suspend the Constitution or deal with the Iranians for arms and hostages?
Ronald Reagan based his policy largely on military superiority, but also had a financial strategy, much like China right now, like what China's doing right now.
I'm sorry, collapsing their economy as a rope-a-dope?
You think the space race against Russia was all about getting to the moon?
Well, according to Alex Jones and Joe Rogan, we didn't go to the moon.
No. The space race was also about getting the Soviet Union to spend themselves into oblivion.
Yeah, we know that. That's effectively what Biden has done with China.
While trying to keep up with the interstellar innovation of America, real or perceived.
Interstellar?
Perceived. So we've accomplished, just now, folks, in 3 minutes, what no one at the White House, all the think tanks and everything...
Hold on, you have accomplished nothing, fuckwad. I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about anymore. You veered off into the fucking reeds after adversaries. You lost us all at Ukraine has neon, so we best not let Russia take it, I guess. But you're arguing that Russia's going to and we shouldn't do anything about it. What the fuck?
Haven't done in 3.5 years. So now let's talk about fixing it, which is...
Great, yes, let's fix it.
Kind of part 3. Actual world peace, not just some, speech about it. I have enforced foreign policy for the U.S. in like dozens of countries, okay? Dealing with our enemies consists of old men talking and young men dying. And whoever can kill off enough young people or scare enough old people wins.
Yeah, most conflicts are resolved before the war stage. in the world. Just saying, the vast majority. I mean, hammers see nails aside, you do recognize that all the time we're having, like, even trade negotiations that used to result in war. We just take your farmland and kill everybody, or you try to do the same thing to us, and now we negotiate over prices and by the way, helping shipping lanes stay functional.
So you really want to solve the problem? The next time Iran has a Death to America rally in its streets, you send in 1,000 Tomahawk missiles and level Main Street in Tehran.
Yeah, okay, that sounds great. I don't know why that didn't occur to me. Someone called the White House. I honestly, that, you know what? I don't know what I expected, but I expected that. Let's just be abundantly clear. That's exactly what we all thought he was going to say. The next time they have a Death to America rally, kill everybody on Main Street in Tehran. Even the people just selling chocolate-covered dates and like halal lamb sticks. Yeah, those guys, they gotta go. Any woman walking down the street getting harassed by some fuckhead about not covering her hair, kill her too. Go blow up all the buildings and all that kind of stuff, because then people will know you mean business, and by business you mean murder. Sorry, the Infowars auction is 11/13. Like, sign me up, Dan. So we've got to find the details on that, because I should probably live stream. I'll try to bid on stuff. Wouldn't that be fun? I don't know what I would like. I'll have to set aside some money for it or some shit. I don't know how that works, but we'll set up a thing where, you know, maybe like a $2,000 budget, something like that, and try to get the desk. And I might, you know, obviously I'll have to live stream driving down there and picking it up in a truck and driving it back. And then my girlfriend being mad at me because we have no place to put it. This is starting to look like a plan. I like it. Tomorrow, 8 a.m., I will be on Steph's show for Sexy Liberal to promote that on Saturday in Phoenix, Arizona. Please come see us. And then after that, Kansas City, and then L.A., and I'm not going to show you my nuts. I didn't say I wasn't wearing pants. I just said I wasn't wearing the kind of pants you wear when you go to a proper dinner. And they're, by the way, they're clean. They're just very tight.
And I'm sure they'll stop doing it. Oh, Carl, you're going to make them.
All right, I got to go. Getting changed. Here we go. Have fun, everybody. Thank you so much. Oh, look at the goose. Goose. It's the Peking ducks. Thank you guys for the super chats, by the way. I love you. I'm sorry if I didn't get to mention them because I was busy doing show and talking to Brian and all that kind of stuff. I love you. Thank you for the support. You guys are amazing. Bless you. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you tomorrow at the regular time, 4 p.m. Pacific time for the afternoon show. Love you. There we go. Oh, my God, I gotta go put some pants on. Ah, it caught me. Sign off. God damn it. I gotta go. Okay.